Well, welcome to Social Club on Tour. We're in a very special place. We are in the Billy Wright dressing room at St George's Park, where the England first team get changed. It's an incredible place, to be honest. And big thank you to Continental Tires. They've hosted us here for a day. We've had some great videos, some great content coming out on the channel, so check out for that in the next few days. But lads, we're here first and foremost I want to know what you guys think about what a successful tournament is for England in the Euro. So Robbie, first of all, what do you think about it, mate?
I think a successful tournament for me is semi-finals. If England could get to the semi-finals of this tournament at least, I'd say that's a successful tournament, because I think we've got a team good enough to go that far. Quarterfinals, perhaps, considering the disaster we had in the last World Cup, but I do think that we have a very good team this time, and I'm not going to say we're going to win it, but I'm expecting good things.
Do you think we've actually got the team, Robbie, to get to the semi-finals? There's some big hitters in these Euros this time around.
Yeah, but I do. I mean, I've looked at a lot of the other teams, and there are a couple of standout teams, France, Belgium, Germany as usual, but when I look in that second tier, I think England are in there. You know, we got guys up front, Sturridge, Harry Kane, people like that, you know, Vardy. A lot of players in England's team that are on form at the moment. I think we've got a good chance. I think we've got a good chance of doing something at this tournament. As I said, I don't think we'll win it, but I think we could really make a good mark. The only thing that worries me, is the manager. Is he going to let the handbrake off and let them play? If he does do that, I think we could do okay.
It's a fair point, isn't it, Nicky? I think, you know, we are, as England fans, a little bit worried about Hodgson. As a Liverpool fan, I'm very worried about Hodgson because I've seen what he did firsthand there. Do you agree with Robbie, first and foremost? Do you suppose that semi-finals is a successful tournament, or do you think quarter-finals is about our level?
No, I agree with Rob. I think we've got enough, especially in the striker department, to go to the semis. The only thing I'm worried about is the defence. It all depends on the manager and what he does. I mean, some of the decisions in picking the team, I think, are a bit wrong. Taking 3 centre-halves for one. Because they're saying, like, Eric Dyer can slot back in there.
Well, he's important in the midfield, isn't he?
He is very important, and the same as Dele Alli. But taking 3 centre-halves and saying, one can slot, we ain't got 3 centre-halves that are good enough to play in that position anyway. In my eyes, anyway, I think that's where our weakness is. So it all depends. We're gonna get that far by outscoring the other team. I can't see us keeping clean sheet.
Well, we're lucky this time around, aren't we? You know, England have scored 31 goals in qualifiers this time around. Second highest scoring team. I think it was Poland first with 33 goals. Ped, do you think Nicky's right? Do you think that'll fire us to the semi-finals?
If Dyer and Drinkwater sit in front of that back four, I think they'll be okay. I think there's enough in there, and if everyone in front of them is attack-minded, I think they could have enough to surprise people this time. The attacking flair they've got is fantastic, and you've got like Dele Alli, you've got the likes of Ross Barkley on the bench, and you know Wayne Rooney come in there as well.
Do you think Barkley will make it to the final squad?
Something inside me says he won't, but if he does, I think he could be one of those players who could get into the first team by the virtue of an injury and suddenly finds some kind of success. He hasn't had a great season, the latter part of it, but he has come on a lot this season, and you go to a new environment. I think that's why John Stones will do all right for England as well. I think it's been away from Everton and all the comedy show that's gone on there all season, and I've got a feeling he'll start the season because it's Cale's looking like he's going to be injured for it was saying carrying an injury, so he could go in, and it could be little things like that really mould the team. It happened in '86. Everyone was reliant on people like, I know it's probably before a lot of people's time, but the likes of Brian Robson and Ray Wilkins, who were these players that were talked about like being fantastic players. Brian Robson got injured and Ray Wilkins got sent off, I think, and a few other players came in, and notably they were all Everton players, and suddenly the team was fantastic. The team was suddenly fantastic, and you had this spine of a team that had all played together. So I'm thinking that England do all right. I don't think there's one outstanding team going into it as well. Normally we go into it and we're like, Spain look great, or France, or whoever, Germany come off. But I think there's a much of a muchness. It might just come down to little tiny things. Do
you think a player that was obviously talked about, he plays up in the northwest, Rashford, do you think he might have something to say in these Euros? It could be a breakout year. I know that, you know, Michael Owen obviously came into the World Cup in '98, but there's a lot of similarities being drawn about it, but I think Rashford's got 5 and 11 for United, whereas Michael Owen had a full season. I think he got 19 and 38. in that Premier League season, and for me it's a little bit early for those comparisons. You know, he hasn't had a full season in the Premier League. Is he good enough to fire England into the Euros?
You know what? I'd take Rashford. I think he's a bit of an unknown quantity to the other teams. He's hungry. I want to see a lot of those young, hungry players playing for England this time. Like you make a great point where you said that over the years, it's always been the same guys we relied on. It's the Gerrard, Lampard, Rooney. Throw some of these guys in. I think they can do a job, and I'd really like to see Rashford. If he can do it at the highest level for Manchester United, why can't he do it for England?
I think that comes down to the manager though as well, because the manager, England always tend to play safe when they get managers. So it stops that sort of X factor when you get to the championships. And you know, you mentioned Owen there. He didn't even start that tournament in '98. Beckham didn't start that tournament. And when they got in the team, they prospered. And I think that's where we've been lucky this time, that a lot of those younger players managed to get through the qualifying unscathed, because it wasn't much. And I think that's really important. But on the flip side, I think that's important why Wayne Rooney needs to play, because I think they lack leadership. But I'd love.
Is he a leader though?
He's such. I think he's such a leader. But someone like Rashford, I'd love Rashford to be in. If at the end of the day, if Daniel Sturridge is half fit, I'd take Rashford, and that's not like being.
You know what? As a Liverpool fan, I've seen Daniel Sturridge, but personally, you know, I've seen what he can do half fit, and if the ball was to drop to him inside the 6-yard box, and you had that one chance, I wouldn't want anybody but Sturridge on the end of that.
But then that's like ifs and buts and maybes. You're talking about a tournament, and maybe there's room for him in a tournament, given that chance. But when you look at how well Vardy and Kane have done this season, they've got to go and they've got to play.
Well, so I'm going to ask you to put your money on it. Sorry. Where do you think England are going to finish, Ped?
Do you know what? I've got a feeling they're going to get to the final.
Final, semi-final. I'm going quarter-final, to be honest with you. Just before we wrap up, we've got a great competition for you, of course. We are giving away a signed England ball. It's actually been signed by Harry Kane, Eric Dyer and Mr Drinkwater, Premier League champion himself from Leicester City. All you've got to do to win that signed ball is go over onto our video on Wednesday and leave us a comment. The video will be titled "Who Will Win the Euros?" and you've just got to leave your winner in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching Social Club. Ped, Nikki and Robbie, thanks very much for joining me, and we'll see you tomorrow on the next video.